Колеги,
Thank you for waiting, and we continue our working day. And the topic is Profrightsorg, Teachers and Students' Rights Protection, a new online resource that provides possibility to monitor rights violations in Ukrainian universities. Yehor Standyi, Executive Director. Thank you for joining us online. Analytical Center CEDOS represents its product in the sphere of education and the analysis of education policy. It's an online resource, online site that is profright.org. And we are having the presentation, and I'll briefly tell you what it's all about and the idea of the site. The idea of creation of such a site appeared when we saw the representation of information in the media about violations of students' rights, of teachers' rights, about bribery, corruption in higher educational institutions. And of course, we concluded that the attention by the media is not enough, and society addressed these news in the period of joining the higher educational institutions, and now we have information about different violations, information on violations in higher educational institutions and in different sphere. Here in Ukraine, we have different sites that fix the activity of deputies, the promises, the presence in the committees, and analyzing the activities of different ministries. And we thought that it would be a great idea to create a database on violations in higher education institutions, where we can present information in a computerized form about different violations in different universities of Ukraine. And this information is very needed in Ukrainian society during entrance to the universities, and here we may see the information on violation of rights of students and teachers, the geographical sphere, and also you can find information about universities and how to avoid these violations. Or, for example, if you are a teacher, you can work in a university that is violation free, and if you are an employer that wants to help some university, so you can find information on this site. And now I ask Andrei to go through this presentation and show us other slides. So these are things that are monitored. We have three directions of our work. First, we find information and monitor this information about violations we collected from open sources, of course, and then anyone, whether it is a teacher, student, or any interested party, can provide us with such information. And we have a special function that you enter, and you can inform us on violation. You go to special form, you complete it, and the information is goes to our site, and we verify this information. We look it through, and we see if this violation violates some norms of our legislation, because many people can misinterpret the information, and then after this we verify the information. We try to find some proofs for this information provided, and after this verification and the adherence with the current legislation. This information is stored at our site, and we can provide monitoring and verify the adherence of actions to legislation. And also we provide information on documentation, and we collected statutes and the schedules, and also different provisions on activity of the university, and for example, for rules for students, rules for teachers, responsibilities of every official, and for example, in the schedule of activity on accountant documentation. Only 73% of universities provide 73 universities provide information on the documentation. So these are violations in the sphere of access to information. Thus, we collect this information and then we explain this information, because we have many signals, a lot of information. So, for example, some people say that their rights are violated, but then we verify the information and it is not confirmed. So sometimes it is about competitions, and many teachers even forgot that there are competitions for each position at the university, and there are many instances that show that the level of awareness about rules and responsibility is low, and also you can find at our site some texts, some cases where we explain how to fight for your rights, how to write complaints, and how to address, to file a case. And the third function, and mainly the major function, this resource helps to create some pressure on higher educational institutions and help to help to public society to influence higher educational institutions. So you can go online and verify the information you need, and we hope that we can provide some motivation for our universities and institutes to solve most important and pressing problems and create opportunity at our side. If administration of the university provide us with some documents that this violation was stopped, so we put some mark at our site that this violation was stopped. So we not only create some negative examples, but we help to correct these violations. So we have 12 cases about responsibilities, and all this is visualized, and description how these claims are sent to us. So you should get the information whether we got this information. Then we have a pre-moderation, verification of the information, and then this information goes to the database, and then it is represented in graphs. This is the basic visualization. It is interactive and automatically filled. and also the function about informing us on violations. So there's a button in the middle of the screen. Click on it. It's difficult. Yeah, so you can inform us on violation, and you can open special form. You can write the name of the university, the information about yourself, but you can name your electronic address to have feedback, and then you should explain what it's all about, the organization, and then after this, in pre-moderation state, we can correctly identify this violation. Then I will show you a map where these violations are represented. And on the map. And here you can have access to different functions. Here there is a map in an interactive form. So there are some circles on the map, and you can
Can we enlarge the scale? You see these rounds. If you click on one of these rings, you can see the information about any violation, the legislation, the fact, the what is violated. This visualization will be improved, and then we will study behavior of the users on the website. This is the way how we fill in the database and represent how the rights of professors and students are violated. And we believe that this database has a chances to become a tool of reputational pressure on the administration of universities and force them to improve the situation and to correct these violations. Quite often, this is a signal for the public. An example, nobody knows how many rectors or deans get kickbacks or bribes during the entry campaign this year. Another example, story of Lviv Academy, who was caught when taking a bribe, and he was punished with just a fine, and now you can find this story in our database. Thank you for your attention. I'm ready to answer your questions. Actually, thank you very much. Everything is clear. I do not have any questions. Yemets Maria, UCMC. The map shows geography very evenly. Actually, it shows that these cases are approximately evenly distributed around the territory of Ukraine. Who prevail in providing you this information? Are the students or their parents? We take this data from open sources, from law enforcement agencies, from mass media. But we double check. We take the data only from sources to which we trust, and also we get information about violations from professors directly. Usually they inform us about the breach of their labor rights, increased work overload, or forced vacation without maintenance. Students inform about violations with stipends and without relocation, problems related to relocated universities from the East. Currently, we're carrying out national presentation of this resource, and we expect to have more information about violations. Offline activities are also envisaged. We plan to organize discussions and inform people how to protect their rights. The idea to have this resource was to collect all those violations in one place, and also to find the way how people can protect their rights. Everybody knows that student trade union associations are inactive, and we think that accessibility of the information and dissemination of information is very important. And also we contribute much effort to double check the information, whether it is just a black PR or this is true. Mentioning that you double check the information, whether you did something to prevent your resource from court claims. Yes, from the front page, you can immediately go to the section here. There is description of all the legal framework for our activities. It says that we are not responsible for information taken from open sources, although it doesn't remove responsibility to double check, to verify the information. Kristina Chelmakina, UCMC. Recently, in one of the big universities, there was a case of violation of the students' rights, and there was some reputation pressure, but the students lost this battle, and that's why my question: how do you think? What else besides reputational pressure? What else can make pressure? If you mean the Kiev State University, I try to analyze the situation, and I believe this situation is widespread among our civic activists. Young people fight against signs of corruption in the university. They wish to make transparent procedures for accommodation in hostels, for the transparent procurement procedures, etc. But as it usually happens with civic activists, they are not excellent as studies. They simply missed classes. They did not show necessary level of learning. They cannot. They on so I reviewed the answers, their test works, the exams, and so I found out that pre-moderation is very important. Any further questions? Since there are no further questions, thank you, Yehor. That's very good initiative. I think it will become alive, and it very much depends on the proactive approach of professors and students. We will be happy to go to the regions or to Kiev universities, and much depends on whether students and professors will be involved into this work. I would like to remind you that our last briefing for today will be